Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal CHH, and today, guys, we are talking about the new 4K UHD release from Scream Factory of the great Poltergeist 2. Now, Poltergeist 2 is great. I've been on record saying that I enjoy Poltergeist 2 more than Poltergeist, and I think I still feel that way. You know, I did rewatch this, obviously, for this review. I did not just buy it, and I'm not going to take the slipcover off and look at it. I am going to talk about the movie. Poltergeist 2, man, I gotta say, I was vocal about Poltergeist for a little while, about 5-6 years ago, and I gotta eat my words on a few things, because I've gone back and revisited Poltergeist, especially when that 4K of Poltergeist came out, which was a good 4K. I used to think that this was a Steven Spielberg movie, not a Tobe Hooper movie, and not in the literal sense. I always thought that Steven Spielberg kind of ghost directed this. There was a big rumor about that, and you know, there was a bit of that Spielberg shine on the movie that you would see the way he has in other films. It's not something you can necessarily describe, but it's this X factor. When you see a Steven Spielberg movie, there's this glow about it. There's this prestige about it. And Poltergeist has that prestige. There's no doubt about it. Years later, as I go through Tobe Hooper's movies and I start seeing other stuff he's done, Invaders from Mars, Life Force, more stuff like that, I notice the Tobe Hooperisms in Poltergeist, the setups. Tobe has a great sense of humor, so I'll gladly eat my words on that. And I was kind of expecting to revisit Poltergeist 2 and say to myself, Christian, come on, like, you're probably a little silly to say Poltergeist 2 is better than 1. But revisiting Poltergeist 2, I gotta say, I still think it edges out Poltergeist. Hear me out. I've got a couple reasons why. The first reason is I love the tonality of Poltergeist 2. You know, there are still the nice moments with our family that we have in here that, you know, is obviously from the previous Poltergeist, but there's a darker tone in Poltergeist 2 that is tangible. And the main reason I got to give the edge to Poltergeist 2, guys, is the great Julian Beck. Julian Beck was scary as hell as the Reverend in this movie. Now, the reality about Julian Beck during this time was he actually had cancer, which is sad to think about, but what a trooper, what a legend to say, to hell with this cancer, I'm not going to let it stop me from doing my thing. I'm going to use that and have myself a great performance in this movie. And when you look at creepy characters from the 80s, if you were going to say, Christian, give me a top 20 villains, maybe even top 10, I think I would throw the Reverend in there. Just incredible, creepy character, juxtaposed to the little girl, Carol Ann, in this movie. Oh man, it's just amazing. I never saw Poltergeist 2 as a kid, but there's no doubt in my mind it would have ruined my life had I seen it as a kid. The other thing about Poltergeist 2 is I won't necessarily spoil it because I know that people are getting into horror, people are getting into physical media, which is amazing. That thing at the end, that creature, I'm not going to spoil the ending per se, but I will say, I love it. The look of that thing is grotesque, nasty. The scene in which he appears just comes out of really nowhere. You don't expect that to happen in a movie like this. I think it works, but I don't know, I posted about this on Instagram. I did notice some people say the ending doesn't work for me, brother. The ending does not work for me, brings the movie down. I respect that. I hear that. For me, it's that going left when you think the movie's going to take that, you know, that right turn, which you think it was going to go that way. So for me, Poltergeist 2 just works. It just works. And I like all 3 Poltergeist films. I really do. I like 3. I did a YouTube short on part 3 a while back, and I said, you know what? It's got its issues, but I'm never going to apologize for just being a fan of it. I think for part 3, it's not that bad. I like it. But part 2, I think, is a juggernaut movie. Love it. We got a lot of returning cast in here, which is another great thing about the sequel. Just a great horror movie. So I will be interested to know if you, the audience, prefer Poltergeist 2, or if I'm the weirdo that just happens to love this movie and thinks it edges out the first one a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But the thing about this review, here's the deal, guys. I'm just going to be straight up honest with y'all. There is a big part of me that didn't want to buy this. I'm going to tell you why I bought it. I bought it because I did feel like it was probably expected of me a little bit to review this. And that's fine. You know, nobody said, I did have some people ask me if I was going to review it, but it wasn't like I had a brigade of people. I'm not going to lie, but I did feel a little bit of responsibility too. And the reason you're probably wondering, well, Christian, you just said you love this movie. Why would you not want to get the 4K and watch this? Well, this is the age-old tale of Scream Factory right now. Okay, and this is just the reality of the situation. They did such a good job with the Blu-ray in terms of special features. They didn't have anything that they added on the 4K. Luckily, the picture quality is a big improvement. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail, but there's nothing really new on here, special feature-wise. As a matter of fact, there is nothing new. They just ported over everything that they did on the Blu-ray. And right now, when you're getting these movies new at a new price, they're the price you pay. You want to have some new special features. And I know special features aren't super important for everybody. To me, I like to have something new to go with the release. It kind of makes me say, oh, yeah, I want to catalog this now for sure. They got a new interview with this person. They got a new interview with that person. Oh, definitely, I want to catalog that. But, it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, like I'm simply upgrading picture quality on this. And that's tough. And regardless, I did want to get this because I wanted to review it for you guys. I wanted to talk about the picture quality on this and let you guys have an educated opinion on if you want to get this or not. There are a lot of good special features on here. As a matter of fact, let's go look at the back right now and let's breeze over everything. On the 4K disc, we do have a 4K restoration from the camera negative. We do have Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, but I'm going to mention that again later on. An audio commentary with writer-producer Michael Grace, audio commentary with webmaster of the Poltergeist fan site, David Furtney. On disc 2, we have the new restoration as well on that Blu-ray. It is also presented in Dolby Atmos. We have an audio commentary with Michael Grace, audio commentary with David Furtney, Robbie's return, an interview with actor Oliver Robbins, which was really, really good. The Spirit World, interview with the visual effects team, Richard Edlund, Steve Johnson, and Screaming Mad George. Ghosts of Geiger, a look at the contributions of artist H.R. Geiger, featuring rare photos and illustrations. An interview with friend and agent Les Barani. They're Back, The Making of Poltergeist 2, Monster Shop, Ghost Makers, The Magic of Poltergeist 2, theatrical trailer, TV spots, and still galleries. So they have some good features on here for sure, with a lot of old features as well, which are really great. I always love seeing Screaming Mad George in the features, excuse me. But yeah, so, I will also add this, because I don't think I mentioned this again. The Blu-ray also has Dolby Atmos with it as well. So add that to the W column for this release. I will give it that. So, guys, it's got good features. There's great interviews, and the interview with the boy from the movie was sensational. He talked a lot about working with Toby and Steven and working with the director of Part 2, Brian Gibson, and it was a totally different ball game for him, which was interesting to hear about, how different the directors were, how loose Toby Hooper was with them, saying, hey, you're a kid, just, be a kid, react like you would naturally. And the second director for this movie was like, you're going to do what I say and how I say it. I've got a vision, work with me. So it was cool to hear about that. And it's also interesting to hear about the guys that I know and have heard of. I don't really know the director by this guy, Brian Gibson. I'm sure I've seen more of his movies, but Toby Hooper, for God's sakes. But like with Toby, it's just like, you're a kid, react naturally. How would you react to the situation? That's interesting because, yeah, obviously Poltergeist between the three is the biggest one. But here's what I'll say. This Blu-ray was scanned from a 2K from the Inner Positive. It does look good. Doesn't look amazing. It's a pretty good looking Blu-ray. You will get a substantial upgrade, in my opinion, on the picture quality of this. This was obviously from the 4K camera negative, and I was very happy with the picture quality of this. I could go on and on about the specifics, but you guys know, when I say it's good, I think you know what I kind of look for. I love to get nice, crisp definition. I like to be able to look out at an image and feel like I can see the distance and how much depth there is in the background, like in the beginning with the Native American and seeing the hills and everything, and how does it look flat or does it look like there's a lot of depth to everything? You're going to have all that. You're going to have all of that. Everything inside the house looks great. All the special effects stuff looks great on here, especially that nasty thing at the end. It's a great 4K. I'd give the 4K 9.5 out of 10. And I think most of you guys have come to expect a certain level of quality with Scream Factory's 4Ks, and this is no different. So in terms of the 4K and the audio, you're going to be very happy. And this does have Dolby Atmos, which I know is going to be another thing. There is Dolby Atmos. So audio and picture is a big improvement. So you do have two things that are big improvements, audio and picture. And in terms of the release, they just do the standard artwork on the front, the standard artwork for the the case, and then it's the same thing on here. Your two discs are different looking. You've got your nasty dude on the 4K disc. There is no reversible art. I did already check that. I'm hoping one day I'm going to randomly find one with reversible art. So should you get this or not? I'm just going to be realistic with you guys. If you have the Blu-ray of this, I would wait to get it at a good price. I just would. I would wait to get it around the $25 mark if that happens soon. And if you don't own this at all, definitely go for it. I mean, the picture quality on this is sensational. The audio is sensational. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy the special features that they did previously for the Blu-ray release. But that's the reality. This is not something I would recommend everybody just rush out and pick up now. I would recommend, if you already have the Blu-ray, to wait it out, get it at a better price, and enjoy the movie then, and you'll feel a lot better about just upgrading your picture quality. You know, it is great. The Atmos is there, which is good. So the thing about Scream Factory is I almost feel like they only did the Atmos because they knew they were going to lack in new special features, which is a shame. They should be striving for that with every release, and I hope that becomes a trend where it's going to be standard for them to do Dolby Atmos for every release. But I can't help but feel like the Atmos was really only done because they couldn't add anything new in special features, which is good, but it's almost like I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe I'm just putting something in my head that I shouldn't need to about that. But at the end of the day, this does have Dolby Atmos. So there you have it, guys. Poltergeist 2, a great movie. Get it at a good price if you already own the Blu-ray, and if you haven't owned it at all, go for this, guys. But let me know what you think about this movie. This is your old pal CHH. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.